Here we are talking about, this is Ginger, and Ginger is a kick drum or drum actuated LED display. And think of what this is, that our target market is independent musicians and people who perform live music performers. So when you think, you go to a rock and roll show or any big spectacle, there's pyrotechnics, there's light shows, there's lasers, there's LEDs, there's confetti cannons. There's all sorts of things to help make the show more exciting and leave you with a fantastic, memorable experience. Musicians who are just starting out or who don't have the budget for those kind of things don't have the opportunity to add visuals to their show with as much ease. So the goal was to design a low-cost, easy-to-assemble or easy to manufacture and sell LED device to augment musical performances with LED displays. So what we have here is we've got an enclosure, and this is actually an upcycled mint container, and that's where you can see it's a Ginger Mints container. That's where you get the name Ginger, also named for Ginger Baker, famous drummer. And inside there we have the sound sensing module and the electronics that connect to a 12-volt power supply and our LED array. Deliberately chose a 12-volt AC power supply over a battery pack because I also play guitar quite a bit, and I've got guitar pedals, and I swear every time I have a battery-operated pedal, the batteries die 5 minutes before I have to perform. So I like things that plug in, and most musicians would agree with me. And plug something in, there's always power on stage, it takes the guesswork out of it. And kick drums are always ported, so you could easily run a cable outside. What we have here is we have an adhesive LED strip. The way this is going to actually be installed is inside the drum, around the shell of the drum, against the wall of it. And most drums will have either a transparent or translucent batter head. You can see here I've got a small photo of what it would look like there with the interior of the drum lit up and the diffusing translucent head out front. So the way this works is you just place it inside it, and whenever the ambient sound has a rapid jump, the lights will create an instantaneous burst of electricity. The actual module inside is self-adjusting and self-regulating, so when you're inside a club or a bar and there's a lot of ambient noise around, it will actually adjust to the ambient noise, and then the sharp staccato of the drum when it hits will actually actuate it. So it does not need to be manually adjusted. So you can see it's here adjusted to the ambient noise, but when I clap to replicate a drum, we have light. And that's Ginger. Oh.
A little bit too late.
It was going to your lap.
It was going to my lap. That's so evil.
We should go to business together.
Yeah, we could. All right. Anybody have any questions for Ginger?
I do.
Yes.
Will it be easy to install?
Absolutely, it'll be easy to install. If you have a drum, see typically drums, you see this one does not have a port in the front of the drum. Majority of drums do, but if you don't, drums are always ported on the top or on the sides for hardware mounts.
Okay.
So you could easily thread the power supply through one of those ports. To actually permanently install it, you just need to remove the drum head and install the LEDs and the sensor inside the drum, put the drum head back on. It takes about 20 minutes start to finish. And with the tools that you have as a drummer anyway, just a drum key will do that.
Is gun control going to use it in the future?
Yes!
Yes?
Yeah, I'm going to put that in my drum kit and road test it when I play a show next. And the next step might be some different ones with different tuned sensors, so you can mount it in the kick drum and then the different toms. And so when you hit a tom, only that drum lights up, and then the kick drum, only that one lights up, and then the other tom, only that one lights up.
Does it react to the frequency specific? Or
I'll have to check. There are some sensors that do react to different frequencies. I could probably get away with just doing it based on volume, because when you're mounting the sensor inside the drum, the intensity of the sound inside the drum is like an order of magnitude louder than the bleed from the other drums coming into that one.
So can you tune that down to like a threshold?
Yes, so we actually did tune it, and I can show you. I can open here, and you can actually see the guts in there. And I'll grab the screwdriver. So it's tuned to be relatively sensitive, but if you want it to get more sensitive, I can loosen this up, and you'll see it'll eventually just start. Yeah, when I talk, yeah, you see now it's really sensitive, and so I can reduce this. Now it's just picking up the ambient sound.
Cool, man.
The actual construction of it, I had these acrylic pieces made out of, they're actually laser cut out of acrylic. The original goal was to cut into the mint container and then fasten the base of the mint container along with these acrylic pieces. However, the exposed circuitry on the bottom of the board, or just the ends of the solder and the ends of the wires, were shorting out, where there's some connectivity issues and some conductivity issues with the other metal plate. So I removed the metal plate and I installed this sponge, which helps dampen against vibration and sound, as well as is an insulator against the board down there. So had to sort of think on the fly to get that working, so it doesn't look quite the same as I initially intended, but I was able to keep the functionality of the Ginger Mint's case right here, and it's actually more robust than it was before in that it's got a whole ton of electrical tape holding it together.
How do you imagine that being connected to the inside of the drum?
This, if you wanted, I'd mount Velcro on the back here, and I'd mount just the opposite Velcro inside the drum so you could keep it inside. However, I would probably leave it loose and not mount it inside the drum, just to eliminate the vibration interference. So most kick drums, in fact almost all kick drums, actually have foam, or I've got a big pillow in mind to dampen the drum. I just rest it either on or inside that pillow to help decrease the sensitivity to the ambient sounds even more. I wouldn't want to mount it necessarily because it would probably have too much vibration interference.
What about for the rest of the drums, where you don't have the luxury of a dampener built in?
Those actually vibrate a lot less than a kick drum, so the decreased size would allow you to mount this on the side of the drum with Velcro or with double-sided tape with less interference, because the kick drum's getting hit a lot more, and the volume and intensity of the vibrations is much, much louder and greater than the other drums. All right. Any other questions? Or?
Get video of this thing.
Yes, my goal, I will share some video. I'm heading to Boston tonight for the hockey tournament, but I'll get back next week, probably next Friday, get into the jam space and take some video.
Yeah, that'd be
Usually Friday nights are practice.